Welcome to Voices of Women. I'm your host, Chris Stanis, and the founder of Women of Wisdom Foundation. We're having our 30th annual Women of Wisdom Conference on March 24th through the 27th. Our theme is celebrating our sacred pearls, nourishing the waters of the feminine. And one of the great things that we're doing this year, because we are online, we can invite wonderful women to come together, and we have these panel discussions. And one of them is on Seeking the Divine Feminine. I better change that title. It's Seeking Her Everywhere, the Divine Feminine. And Reverend Judith Laxer is moderating this panel and has brought these women together. So tell us a little bit about this amazing topic, really, something we all...
Yeah, it's a great topic. I was very happy that you invited me to moderate this because, I'm the founder of Gaia's Temple, which is a house of worship for the divine feminine. And so we have gathered, there will be 7 of us total from different faith paths, women who are in leadership in their individual faith paths, to have a discussion about where and how and if the divine feminine appears in that faith path. So we have someone from a New Thought church, we have a Christian minister, we have a rabbi, we have a Muslim woman, a Hindu woman, a Native American, and a goddess worshiper. That would be me. So we're spanning everything from earth-based spirituality, ancient religions, more modern religions, and it's pretty fascinating. It's a lovely group of women, and I am looking forward to this panel to hear, I met with each woman individually to talk, already, but to hear how the whole conversation goes with all of us together, I think is going to be pretty dynamic and fascinating.
Yes, and just to explore, I think the divine feminine shows up in a lot of different places and in a lot of different religions in different ways, and to see the diversity there. And
yes,
I think it's quite fascinating. And also it'll be, I think, even eye-opening, because we may have our judgments of, well, how are women in the Muslim community? How are women in the, Jewish?
yes,
we have
yes.
we have our stereotypes about them.
We do. We have our pretty set ideas about what all that means, including what the divine feminine means. Like often we will just think, oh, that's, how did I say it the other day? Like, oh, that's God. And then just like with a little lipstick on, like it's the other face of God, instead of the divine feminine being her own divine being, in her own right. So it's very interesting to see that. And what was fascinating for me was you invited me to moderate a panel on the divine feminine, and I came up with the title, as you asked me, Finding Her Everywhere. And then as I started to interview these women, we came to realize that in some of these religions, she's not really there at all. And so that's why I contacted you and said, let's change the title to this, to Seeking Her Everywhere, because we're not actually finding her in every religion. And that is a very interesting thing to discover also. Like, where did she go? Because we know in ancient times, the divine feminine and the divine masculine were honored, and now it's pretty much masculine dominant. So it was just fascinating. And one woman that I spoke with, we had a wonderful conversation about it. And then when we followed up, she said it was really thought-provoking for me, because I thought the divine feminine was, interwoven in my faith path. But with the questions we were, exploring, I realized not really. So it's eye-opening even for us, who are on the panel, really exploring this and where the divine feminine and how she shows up.
Yeah, and I'm just, as you said that, I'm just thinking that even for all the people who will be listening to this, will do that inner the introspection too for themselves of where is it in their lives, and
yes,
in their spirituality, how much we're so indoctrinated in the patriarchy and our culture that we don't and yet here at Women of Wisdom we embrace it a lot, and the women that come, but some people are still there's here because they are seeking it.
Oh my goodness.
And where can we find it in this world that we have?
I just think that it's really important for women because one of the reasons why it's so important for women is that if the only models that we have for the divine are masculine, we have nothing to identify with in a holy way. And then that just contributes to everything that's gone on with applied women, that we're not worthy and we're not good enough and we're not powerful and we, don't deserve to have, our choices and all of those sort of things. And I think that with the rising of the divine feminine, which we are seeing expressed in the whole women's movement and the whole desire for equality, which has been going on for centuries. But it's not only just balance and equality between the sexes, but I think it also must be within our spirituality also. Because if what we view as holy and divine is masculine, we don't see ourselves there.
Right. Yeah. And I think
Yeah.
that's why a lot of women kind of leave the traditional churches, because
Yes, I think so too.
yeah, you
Yeah.
don't see yourself, and God is only this male figure in the sky.
Yes. And even more than that, that it's not only that you don't see yourself, but your place in that religion is subservient, or the bringer of original sin, or the problem, or the one to be managed. That's very, very different than seeing yourself as divine or equally as divine as your male counterpart.
Right.
So yeah, I think it's going to be a lively discussion for that.
Yes, I will. We're looking forward to it. So thank you so much for agreeing to be
Me
the
too.
moderator for this, and it's going to be fabulous. So thanks again.
Thank you,
And
Vivian.
yeah, while you're at it, you could give your website where people can find out about Gaia's Temple. Probably would be good.
Sure, Gaia's Temple, which is a ministry for the divine feminine. And that website is www.gaiastemple.org. And that's spelled GAIAS temple.org. And yeah, you can find out all about the divine feminine there for sure.
Okay. And you can go to womanofwisdom.org to find the full schedule of all the events, the workshops, the keynote speakers, and all these panels. Just go to womanofwisdom.org and look for the 2022 conference. So thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.